Hey everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our bigger show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend so you don't miss out on any of the comic goodness when it comes out. Those pre-orders are super important so you don't miss out because so many people come in and they're like, did this come out this week? And we're like, it did, but you missed it.
You missed it,
But
sorry.
you could have got it if you only listened to our voices from the past.
If you had only pre-ordered Reptilicus, you could have gotten the first print as it came out.
I know, we only have like one copy.
Yeah, it's sold out at distributor level, but there's a second print coming, yeah.
So remember to head over to infinityflux.net right now so you can place your orders that we're about to talk about. And let's get into it with our featured comics. And I'm actually going to kick this one off with Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider #1. I'm really excited about this. I've been a fan of Ghost Spider since Edge of the Spider-Verse #2. I bought it because I was reading everything Spider related at the time, and I'm really glad. This feels like, even though we've had a lot of Spider-Gwen, I don't know, there's something about this feels like super official. Like,
well, it feels like it has to deal with stuff that's never been dealt with before. You know, she's on an Earth where Gwen Stacy died, and how does she, like, I'm surprised that hasn't come up before now.
Yeah, it talks about this solicitation. I'm like, oh yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really cool. This is by Stephanie Phillips, and the art is by Chris Campana. And as you can see on the cover, she's got her suitcase because Spider-Gwen, is moving to the 616 universe. So I feel like this is a thing that maybe has been a problem in the past of just like, we want her to be teamed up with the other characters, but she's not from that Earth.
Right.
So we always have to figure out a way of bringing her over.
Some contrived way. Oh, she has an interdimensional thing that she can use, but she's the only one who has it. I mean, it always felt a little bit weird.
Yeah, but this time, I think we saw a little hint of it in the Web of Spider-Man one-shot issue. It may have something to do with the TVA. Yeah. She may be working for them or something. But so she's coming to the 616 for good. And she's truly going to have to be a ghost when she gets there because she's moving to a world where her namesake, Gwen Stacy, died years ago. So there's already that kind of like, you can't just show up again.
Yeah.
But also, there's something that there's some reason she's not supposed to suit up or reveal herself even to the other spiders that are there. We see in issue #2 that it looks like she does reveal herself to Miles and Peter, but it doesn't go well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I doubt that'll last long.
Yeah.
Where she doesn't tell them that she's there. I can't see that lasting more than an issue.
Yeah, but it looks like there's some other stuff going on here that we don't know the full picture. But I'm very excited about this. I like Stephanie Phillips, and I'm just excited to see Spider-Gwen now kind of permanently in the 616. It's cool she had her own universe, but this just feels like, building that strong base where she can interact with other characters and everything. So we've got some fantastic covers for this. This is our A cover. We also have this really nice Jenny Frison variant, just beautiful. We have a blank sketch cover. We have a Villalobos variant. We have a Sousa foil variant. I'm sure that's going to look good, really cool. And we have a David Lopez vampire variant as well.
Next is Superman House of Brainiac Special. This is going to be a one-shot that acts as a sort of part 2.5 to the House of Brainiac storyline. Of course, we are getting Action Comics number 1064 next week. We'll be talking about that on Monday. That's House of Brainiac #1. Part 2 is in, I believe it's Superman number 13. And then this is going to fall in between parts 2 and 3. And this is going to be an essential issue is what they're telling us, because it tells us about Brainiac's secret history with the Zarnians. It's going to reveal his history with the Zarnians and Lobo and all those guys. Plus, it's going to answer questions like, how did Brainiac create a bottled city of Zarnia? So I guess that's how all the Zarnians are coming back. Who steps up to protect Metropolis when Brainiac's army leaves it in ruins? We're going to have a little bit of Lois confronting Perry White about some of the secrets that he's been keeping.
Yeah, because he's known about Lex and all of Lex's stuff.
And now he's running for mayor of Metropolis, and they've been only teasing it. Hey, you know more than you're letting on. So Lois is going to confront him about that. And of course, Amanda Waller. How does she fit into everything? We know that she's going to be part of the Absolute Power event coming up, which is also going to involve the Queen Brainiac that we're going to meet in this storyline. So it's all coming together, and this is going to be just another piece of that puzzle. Again, part 2.5, essentially.
Yeah.
So this is our A cover right here, and then we have a foil version of that as well. I don't think it's going to be a virgin cover like what this looks like, right?
It might be. I'm not. I'm
Might,
not
maybe?
sure.
Okay.
This is what they had for it. It's
Yeah.
cool when you take the trade dress away. It can actually see the Brainiac in the
Oh,
background and
yeah.
all that. The deeper picture.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Blood Hunters #1. This is part of the new Marvel big event Blood Hunt, which starts relatively soon.
Early May.
Early May.
Yeah.
So this is going to be cool. They used to do books like this back in the day for like Civil War
Yeah.
and all of that. So this is going to be by Christos Gage and Javier Guerin, and it's an anthology series. It's kind of run alongside the Blood Hunt story, and they do books like this to kind of fill in like what are the other characters doing, the ones that don't have their own miniseries. So in this anthology series, we're going to follow Hawkeye on the run from the law and vampires, which sounds pretty interesting. And all of these, except for one, is going to be a one-shot story.
Right.
So we also have Manwolf and J. Jonah Jameson, his dad, do some father-son bonding while also fighting vampires, which I can't wait to see. Jameson, he's just gonna yell at them.
Right.
He's gonna.
And then be like, fine, I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm not going to turn you. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna feel bad about the pictures they turned
Right.
in. And then there's going to be a continuing story that's going to go through this whole mini series about Cloak, and something has happened with Dagger. She's gone missing or something, and he will search for new allies that are going to be surprising. Maybe in the search for her, or is he looking for a new permanent replacement? I'm not sure, but sounds really cool. I like the team on this: Christos Gage and Javier Guerin telling some fun stories.
I really want this spot to head. I really want the J. Jonah Jameson story to be not him fighting vampires, but just to be Peter trying to sell him pictures of vampires, but they don't show up in the pictures. And he's like, "Why are you giving me blank pictures, Parker? Get out of here!" I want that to be the story.
I'm sure that's happened at some point. So we've got our A cover right here. We have a blood red variant, which is what they're doing for their sketch covers. And we have a Declan Shalvey book cover, which is really cool looking.
Yeah,
I like
that's what's good. Next is Dracula Blood Hunt #1, another tie-in to the Blood Hunt series. This is written by Danny Lore, and the art is by Vincenzo Caratu. And we don't know a whole lot about what the story is, but we do know that it's going to involve Dracula, obviously, and Blade and his daughter. And where Dracula and Blade are normally, bitter rivals, lifelong enemies, this time they might team up for the fate of humanity. They might find that they need to put aside their differences and fight against all these other vampires
Sounds
instead.
like these other vampires we're going to be getting are not part of like Dracula's either coven or whatever.
Because it's a new, aren't they called the Blood Coven?
Something
think?
like that. Yeah.
So it's a new cabal of vampires separate from Dracula. So Dracula may not like that, maybe ask for Blade's help, or vice versa. But they're essentially going to team up to take on these other guys instead, and that should be really cool. So we have our A cover right here. We have the blood red blank variant, and then the Mateus Manhanini variant as well.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, next up we've got another Blood Hunt. This is Blood Hunt, or Strange Academy Blood Hunt #1. This is another tie-in. It's been a little while since we had a Strange Academy book, but the kids are all coming back together. In this one by Daniel Jose Older, and the art is by Luigi Zagaria. And in this, the Blood Hunt, the vampires stretch all the way to Louisiana, where the Strange Academy is. And this is going to pull Doyle Dormammu, Shaylee, Toth, Zoe, Jermaine. They all get swept up in an adventure that will put them at the center of the whole Blood Hunt event. So I feel like those characters, you might actually see them in the main Blood Hunt book, the way they're kind of touting this, that they're going to be part of the main cast of that. I'm not quite sure, but it sounds really cool, and it really fits with Strange Academy that they would be dealing with vampires. So either if you were a Strange Academy fan from the previous 2 volumes, or you're trying to get all the Blood Hunt stuff, don't miss out on this one, because I feel like this one they're kind of touting as being a really big deal for the overall story. So this is our A cover for that. And then this one also has a blood red blank variant.
Well, next is Space Ghost. There is a new Space Ghost series coming from Dynamite. This is written by David Pepose and the artist by Jonathan Lau. The solicitation isn't super specific about what the story is going to be, but it does sound like it's kind of starting from the beginning of Space Ghost, starting with Space Colony Omicron, which is where Dr. Kepler and his children, Jan and Jace, and their pet monkey Blip, they all live there, and that space station gets attacked. Their defenses get overwhelmed. Things aren't looking too great until Space Ghost comes and saves the day. We've seen some preview pages, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
It looks very, I know a lot of people think Space Ghost Coast to Coast now, but this is legit Space Ghost, like fighting enemies and doing the thing.
Yeah.
And
He's even like semi-transparent. Like he
yeah.
does look like a ghost in it.
Yeah, so super excited for this one. We will definitely be talking about this one when it comes out. But the artwork's great. It looks like there's some good action.
Yep.
Yeah, super excited about this. So we have a bunch of cool covers. This is our A cover by Matina. There is a Lee and Jay Lee and Chung. I'm not sure who that is.
June Chung.
June Chung. Yep. There is a Beren's cover, which looks really good. There is a Cho cover. I love those ones.
That's straight up like Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. There's a blank space variant, and then there is a Toth model sheet variant, which looks really cool. That's your classic Space Ghost as well, with a whole bunch of notes about how the costume looks. And
no matter what, I'm going to think of Space Ghost Coast to Coast while reading it.
Yeah.
But I'll still enjoy it. But in my head, it will sound like that.
Yeah. I like your idea the other day about at the end of the story, have like a couple of pages of now that we've had that fight, let's go over to our set and talk about it, and Brack and everybody can be there.
Yeah. The preview pages, go check them out too, because I think a lot of people will be impressed with the art. It's very dynamic.
It looks really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we've got Masters of the Universe Revolution #1. This is going to be a 4-part prequel comic to the Netflix series. And I feel like this is also perfect if you've watched season 2, where they brought in Hordak and all of that, and kind of where it's teasing it may be going next. So this is by Tim Sheridan, Rob David, Tom Biselli, and art is by Daniel HDR. And in this, it's actually more of the, we're used to like the origins with like early days of He-Man. This is actually early days of Hordak and Skeletor, who are for a while Skeletor works for Hordak and everything, but they're frenemies for sure. So Hordak in this is an ambitious general, and Skeletor is an aspiring mage. And the two will come together melding magic and science and advanced horde technology to kind of like set themselves up for being the ultimate ruling group. But they're going to need to survive each other first, because they're always betraying each other. And we're going to see how we eventually get to, I guess, Skeletor leaving the horde and becoming his own thing. But I'm very excited about this. It sounds really, really cool.
I love that cover right there. That looks so good.
There's a statue of Hordak that I really want. It's like a really expensive one, but it's super cool, and it looks very much like that. So this is our A cover. That was our Wilkins cover, and this is our B cover by Boss.
Next is Whisper Queen #1. This is going to be a 3-issue miniseries. This is written by Chip Zdarsky, the artist by Chris Anka, and this is a follow-up to a 2-issue miniseries that came out in 2019 called The White Trees. I didn't read that, but reading the description for this makes me want to go read that, because it sounds like they're setting up this world, right? It's a black sand tale, just like the last one was. So in this one, if you read the last series, the Royal Guard has sent out some bounty hunters to track down the person who assassinated the king, but the king's most skilled assassin Javro has to find those killers before they're wiped out by the kingdom's most feared specter called the Dark Whisper. So just adding on to this world that they started back in 2019 sounds really fun, and I like the cover. I like the character designs that we'll see in a second. So it seems really cool. So this is that's our B cover by Fiona Staples, and we have a Rosemary Valero O'Connell variant. And then they're re-releasing, speaking of White Trees.
I think this is a really smart idea.
Yeah, for sure, because I actually hadn't heard of this until this book came out. So this is a one-shot that collects both issues of The White Trees, which is the lead-in series to Whisper Queen. So if you don't know anything about any of these books, you can grab this and White Queen all together. And they come out on the same day too. This and Whisper Queen comes out on May 1st. So you can get both and have a whole big story.
Very cool. Next up, we've got The Scale Trade. This is another new one from Magma Comics. Feels like we're getting about one a week or so.
Yeah, well,
Really building up their library
yeah, we'll have
titles.
our first Magma book next week.
Yeah, that
Yep.
we're going to be talking about.
Hmm.
But this one's really cool. So, Scale Trade. This is by Steve Orlando and Megan Huang. And in this, it's modern day. You can see like the main character on the cover, very like modern clothing and everything. But in this version of the universe, dragons are real. They're highly respected and highly endangered species. And it sounds like they call it the scale trade, kind of a black market that goes on with dragons. And when a young idealist joins the federal agency tasked with managing the dragon population, he learns quickly how corrupt the whole organization is and takes matters into his own hands. So it sounds really cool. I liked that, like, it's normal, but let's put in one element. Oh, dragons are
Yeah.
real. Okay, how does that change the entire landscape of the world? So it sounds really cool. I'm very excited for all the magma stuff. I'm really interested to see just kind of how they present themselves. We'll be finding out a lot about that next week. But this is our A cover. This one is by Megan Huang, your interior artist. And then there's a Max Dunbar cardstock variant, which I love, like the Jeeps, like chasing down, like they would chase down like an elephant or something, but it's
Yeah.
a big dragon.
Max Dunbar is great too.
Yes.
So I love that.
Next up, we got other number ones. There's even more number ones to talk about. Let's get into them. Starting with The Flash.
Yeah.
So, Flash annual or Flash 2024 annual number one, you're going to be seeing a lot of DC annuals on this. It's just how the weeks work out. Usually, if there's like an extra Wednesday or whatever, Tuesday, you'll be getting annuals. So we got a couple of them this week, starting with Flash. And in this, it's by Simon Spurrier, your ongoing writer of Flash, and a host of different artists. So it sounds like you might be getting a couple of different little stories in this. But Wally is missing in action, and Central City needs help. But that's going to be up to Wallace West, Avery Ho, and the new character Circuit Breaker. We haven't seen too much of yet, but very cool. And can they count on Barry Allen, or does he have his own troubles to deal with? We'll have to see. So this one, usually I kind of think about annuals, like how important is it to read the annual? If you see the same writer on it, it means it's really going to be tied in with their main story.
Yeah.
So if you're reading Flash, I'd suggest this one being by Simon Spurrier, that it's probably going to further the story a bit.
Yeah.
Other than just being kind of a separate side story. So very cool in there. We've got our A cover, and we have our Daniel Bayliss variant.
And then we have the Nightwing annual. Now, this is not by Tom Taylor, so I don't think, right? I didn't get the creator's name, but yeah, more and yeah. So this one is all about Bea Bennett. This is we just saw her in the last story arc in Nightwing, where the pirate. Yeah, I mean that's what everybody calls it, right? The pirate story arc where he went out to the high seas with her. Well, we are going to learn about her life before she became a pirate. What led her on that path. This is going to be before she met Rick Grayson, which you can see on the left-hand side of the cover there. This is all about her early. I guess Bea Bennett year one, maybe, if you want to think about it that way. But yeah, so if you like that character, we're going to get a lot more of her backstory in this book. So we have our A cover right here, and then we have the Matina variant as well.
Next up, we've got Harley Quinn annual for 2024. So this one is going to be written, the art, everything is by Erica Henderson. I always think of Erica Henderson for like Squirrel Girl fame and all of that. So in this, Harley heads on a cruise for some rest and relaxation, but of course she's pulled into a maritime murder mystery when something happens on the cruise ship and Zatanna gets framed, and it's up to Harley to solve the case. So pretty cool in there. I like Harley works really well in these like one-shot kind of stories, like, oh, put Harley on a cruise ship, what happens? And I love Zatanna with it too. So got that one, and both covers are by Erica Henderson. So this is our A cover, and we have our B cover by Erica Henderson.
Next is Giant Size X-Men. So this is the next of the giant size books that we're getting they're all one shots, just telling a one and done story. And then they also have a story reprinted in the back as well, featuring whichever character they're talking about, a past story of them. This issue is going to feature the Angel, the X-Men's Angel. A mysterious card is going to lure the Angel to this quiet New York City street where he will undergo a torturous trial unlike any he's ever faced before. I have no idea what that's going to be about. And I don't really know what it could be if it's on a quiet city street or there's going to be like a table laid out in the middle of the road or something. I'm not
That's
sure.
on a yard sale. I've seen a table out
That's
on
right,
the
yeah.
street.
But it does say that this is going to be the debut of a brand new villain that has it out for mutant kind. So I don't know if maybe that villain, we don't get his name or anything, but I wonder if that villain maybe will pop up in the this new relaunch of X books. Not really sure, but there's going to be a brand new villain in this book. And this includes a reprint of Marvel 2-in-1 number 68, featuring a team up between Angel and the Thing, because that's what Marvel 2-in-1 was back in the day. So yeah, just a really cool one and done Angel story. So we have our A cover right here. We have a Dave Barden Deadly Foes. Which is that the Deadly Foes of Angel or just I guess just the X-Men, right? Those aren't like Angel doesn't really have his own rogues gallery.
Sauron and Juggernaut.
Yeah,
and,
Magneto's on there.
Yeah.
And then there is a Javier Garron homage variant. This one's super cool because it's like the Giant Size X-Men #1 where they're popping out at the page, except now they're going that way.
Yeah, you're kind of switching the camera angle around a little bit.
Really cool.
So what I think is cool about this, we've gotten quite a few of these giant size books so far, giant size Spider-Gwen and giant size Hulk and everything. But there's a certain like pedigree that comes with giant size X-Men.
Yeah.
That is a title that carries a lot of weight. So it's cool they're doing another one of those. I'm excited to read this one. Even if it's not like earth-shattering like Giant Size X-Men #1, it's still in a long line of very, big titles like the original Giant Size.
I'm going to buy it just so that I can tell people I own Giant Size X-Men #1.
Yeah, just don't tell them what year
it's from. No covers or anything. Yeah, I own it.
Yeah, I got like 5 of them.
Yeah, I got 5. Yeah, for sure.
Got them the other day.
Yeah, 9.8. all of them, yeah.
So next up we have Bear, Pirate, Viking, Queen, #1. I'm not sure what emphasis you're supposed to put on that. Bear, Pirate, Viking, Queen? Or so this is a new one by Sean Lewis, and the art is by Jonathan Marks Baravecchia. And this sounds really interesting. So there's not a whole lot of information about the story, but I read a lot about the kind of process they went into this, where Sean Lewis went to the artist and was like, what do you want to draw? Like, what's just a bunch of really cool elements? And they came up with this. So issue 1 of this 3-issue miniseries sounds like it's going to be 72 pages, which is a pretty meaty title.
Yeah, that's a big book.
Yeah, it's just short of a 80-page giant. And in this, it seems like maybe there is I look forward to issue #2, and it seems like there is a bear on a Viking boat heading to face off against a queen. Like, it's literally all those elements together, I believe. But they really, they said they wanted it to be like on the historical scope type storytelling, and art-wise, very much like Alan Moore's From Hell. So that's a pretty big shoes to, compare yourself to. But they want to be very visually striking and really creative and very art forward. So if you like stuff like that, I feel like it's, very indie title coming from Image and everything that's very experimental. You'll definitely want to check this one out. And there is only the one cover.
I just like that, you said they asked the artist what he wanted to draw. And I hear, I want to draw bears or maybe pirates, Vikings or Queens. I can't really decide between those 4. And they're like,
you stop right there.
Say less. We have got the book for you. Yes, do all of those. I
just wrote down all of these and I circled them all. So
do them all, yeah. All right, so next up is a book that sounds really fun. This is called Toxic Summer. This is the first of a 3-issue miniseries from Oni Press. It's written and drawn by Derek Charm. Now, this is going to be $6.99, but it's going to be 48 pages. It's about these 2 best friends you see on the cover, Ben and Leo. They just graduated high school, and they have the perfect summer planned, hanging out on the beach all day and just having the time of their lives over the summer, except for the fact that a toxic spill of unknown properties spills on the beach and transforms their dream summer into a waking nightmare. And now Port Dorian, which is the idyllic, beach town that they live in, it is now flooded with panicked tourists who are scared of this horrifying pack of subhuman monsters that are snatching beachgoers in the night. So there goes your summer, kids. You got to deal with mutated monsters and zombies and whatever it is. But it sounds really fun, and I like the sort of the art style there.
Color.
Yeah,
It's very. It feels like Nickelodeon in the summer, with, like
right.
the Nickelodeon slime
Yeah,
color and
absolutely.
everything.
So this is our A cover here. We have a Scott Forbes cover. There's your slime.
Yeah.
When you say I don't know and you get slime,
Oh,
yeah.
yep.
And then there's a Skylar Patridge variant, which that's very Cthulhu looking.
Yeah, it's I guess kind of a Jaws homage too, like where the poster for
Yeah,
Jaws.
seems like a really fun one.
Yeah. Okay, next up we have Grimm Fairy Tales presents 2024 May the 4th cosplay pinup special. These are really fun. They put these out every year, and they use characters from the Grimm's fairy tale universe and homage Star Wars with them in this kind of oversized issue. So it's a lot of pinup art. Plus, there's never before released story in it as well in the Grimm Fairy Tales universe. So if you're a fan of Zenescope is definitely known for their covers and their art and everything. This is a really cool way of getting this. So, and you've got these fun homage covers to the different characters. So I believe this is like a Han homage for our A cover. This is by Reyes. We also have a Vitornio, which I believe is like a Bo-Katan homage. We have a Mattis, which of course is an Amidala, Queen Amidala. And then there is a Sinapo, which is a fun Chewbacca.
Yeah.
If you shaved key parts of Chewbacca, that's what he'd look like.
I feel differently about Chewbacca now, and I need to. It has awakened something in me, I guess.
Next up, we got notable 2s and 3s continuations of series that either just started or are about to start, but you don't want to miss out on continuing the series.
Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin #2. #1 came out this past week, I believe, or this week, yeah. And in this, it's still set back just a few weeks after the death of Uncle Ben, so it is very early in Spider-Man's career. Norman Osborn in this issue is dealing with the attempt on Harry's life that we saw in the first issue, and while he's doing that, Spider-Man takes on Sandman. So it's going to be cool. This kind of reminds me of like the Untold Tales of Spider-Man series from the 90s when you had a young Peter Parker fighting with a bunch of his villains, and you had classic like Spider-Man, Sandman kind of thing. So we're going to get more of that.
Classic versions of those villains.
Yeah.
Kind of first appearance cup.
But I'm assuming that this takes place after Sandman's first appearance. I don't think they had retconned that. So it must be
weird because I don't think Sandman was there within his first few weeks of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I can't remember. So, but yeah, it should be fun either way. So we have our A cover there, and then there's a black costume variant. But there's going to be a bunch of these that you'll see here in the next few minutes. But yeah,
is the black costume, is that for the new symbiote storyline that they're going to be crossing over between Venom and Carnage, or
probably?
I guess I'm not sure, but they're
promoting something.
Yeah, everybody's getting a black costume.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Deadpool #2. So we just covered Deadpool #1 this week. Was it this Monday? We covered that one. A really fun new start to Deadpool by Cody Ziegler, and in this issue #2, of course, Wade has made an enemy of Death Grip, the new villain for this, at least for the beginning of this series. They kind of hyped up this villain. So he decides to open up a boutique mercenary agency. But he doesn't really want to run it himself, so he is hiring Taskmaster to run it, which I love Taskmaster.
I love Taskmaster.
And I think this is a great team up of these two. And their first job is going to be finding out who Death Grip is. So I'm very excited about this. I liked issue #1. It was kind of a refreshing Deadpool written story.
Yeah.
It wasn't too zany. It wasn't too overwritten. It was just right.
It was the right amounts of everything, humor and wackiness, but also action. The artwork was fantastic.
In it too. There were some moments where Deadpool wasn't all smiles. There were some heartfelt bits in it.
I'm not the biggest Deadpool comic fan, but the first issue I really, really enjoyed a lot, and I'm looking forward to this. Him teaming up with Taskmaster, like I'm completely on board for this.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So this is our A cover. We also have a Javier Guerin black costume variant, which this one's really cool. It feels.
I want him in that costume.
It feels very Liefeld. I mean, I get that with the shoulder pads, but like I don't hate this look for it.
But also a little bit of Remender's Uncanny X-Force.
Yeah, if he had maybe the red eyes and everything. We also have this great Mark Brooks variant that you pointed out to me is Deadpool making his own corner box
like
variant.
the headshots.
He drew it and then cut off his own head to put on there. So that's really fun. And of course, we also have a Rob Liefeld variant and a Sean Galloway Saturday morning uh, connecting variant, which is interesting. I
Yeah.
think these have been connecting so far. So, oh yeah, the first part was him like sitting on the couch watching Saturday morning
Oh,
cartoons.
that's right.
So yeah, that's really
That's
cool.
right. Next is Savage Sword of Conan #2. Now I didn't realize that there's only going to be 6 of these, but these are the just like the old school Savage Sword of Conan magazine. You got magazine size, all black and white. You got sort of the newspaper print inside them, so it feels exactly like an old school one. We don't get a lot of details about what the stories in this are going to be. We just know that it's going to have another epic Conan tale that's going to be just like a one and done story. But it's also going to continue the Solomon Kane story from the first issue. There's going to be pinups and a whole bunch of other stuff, just like the first issue was, and just like the old school magazine. So if you're a big Savage Sword fan, don't miss this one. So this is our A cover. We have a Marinkovic cover, and then there is a Dorman Virgin version. So the Virgin version of the
One of the best
A
parts
cover.
of Savage Sword is the covers. It's
Yeah.
Conan fighting something or something really cool, and this monster is truly horrifying. That's straight out of like The Thing or something.
Yeah, he's not having a good time either looking
No,
like that. You
no.
can tell.
Next up, we got cool covers, just really cool covers we wanted to show you, and that may have cool stories on the inside of them as well. Starting off with Suicide Squad Kill Arkham Asylum #4. This is the David Nakayama cover, which I thought was really fun. And even though Harley is spotlighted on this one, it seems like this issue is going to spotlight Captain Boomerang. And like all of these, it comes with a digital code to get an in-game item.
Next is Avengers #14. We wanted to show you this Vicentini Stormbreakers variant. This now, Avengers 14. This is a Blood Hunt tie-in, but it's not like it's part of the ongoing Avengers series. But this ties in with Blood Hunt, and there is the debut of a new Avengers team, at least for the duration of this Blood Hunt story arc. It's not like the new team going forward, I don't think. But the team is going to be Steve Rogers, Hercules, Quicksilver, Kate Bishop, and Hazmat, which should be really cool. We haven't seen Kate Bishop in a while, and I love Hercules, so I can't wait to see all of them together. They're gonna encounter an organized army of vampires in uniform, led by a surprise villain. And it says, and then things get personal. I don't know if maybe like
It sounds like almost like a Red
Red
Skull.
Skull. That's what I was thinking too, but I don't know for sure. But I'm excited for this one. Just because I just like that lineup.
Yeah.
I want to see that lineup fighting vampires. That sounds really cool. So again, if you're trying to get all the Blood Hunt stuff, this is a tie-in.
Especially when you put Hercules on it, I start to think of like Defenders
Yeah,
era, and I love that.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Amazing Spider-Man #49, almost to issue 50. What craziness is going to happen on 50, we'll have to see. But in this Blood Hunt tie-in, Peter must protect New York while the Avengers are busy, which sounds like whatever that Avengers team is going to be pretty busy. And this issue leads into the Spider-Man's larger role in Blood Hunt. Now, we know we'll be talking about probably in a week or two. There's going to be a Spider-Man mini-series where he teams up with Morbius, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
So I think this might lead into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But still really cool. Excited to see what Spider-Man's role in this is. He's had some dealings with vampires in the past.
So don't get those confused. This is the #49, like you said. This is just part of the ongoing Amazing Spider-Man. But there will be a separate Spider-Man miniseries tie-in
Different
as well.
creative team, everything.
So Spider-Man's going to be in there twice.
Yep. So this, of course, is our A cover by John Romita Jr. We also have the Disney homage variant.
Not an X-Men cover. Not X-Men #58. This is Amazing Spider-Man.
Don't be mistaken.
Yeah.
And there's a Lucas Wernick Stormbreakers variant.
And next is Captain America #9. We just wanted to show you this black costume variant by Lionel Francis Yu. In this one, Cap has a new mission to assemble 6 new change agents under the Front Door Cabaret's protection before the people who are trying to get after them actually make it to them. We want to show you this cover because that looks, that's giving me like U.S. Agent vibes.
I was about to say, this is like the middle between Captain America and U.S. Agent, what it looks like.
Like when they were figuring out the U.S. Agent costume, they're like, oh, let's just do black and white Captain America. Nah, it needs a little something. We need to differentiate it a little bit. And then there is a Sergio Davila. Oh, that's Captain Marvel. Yeah, Sergio Davila black costume variant for Captain Marvel #8. I didn't make notes on this one because I thought it said Captain America. But another really cool black costume.
And this makes me think, too, like the black costume. I mean, it's probably obvious. I think it's even that little logo in the corner. Is it the 40th anniversary of the black costume?
Actually, it is. Yeah, because Secret Wars was that it was 84. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is, and it's the 40th anniversary
Yeah.
of
Watch
the.
us discover things as we
Yeah,
talk
in
about it.
real time. Everybody who was watching is like, oh, he's been screaming for 10
It's
minutes.
on the cover.
It's on the cover. No, yeah, 40th
But
anniversary.
you know, a lot of them didn't really look too black costumey.
Right.
But like Captain Marvel, she actually has kind of the eyes, the Spider-Man eyes here and everything.
I mean, she looks a lot like Julia Carpenter Spider Woman with the
Yeah.
black and the, you know.
Yeah.
That would be a cool like mashup to do.
Next up, we have Fantastic Four number 20. Really funny cover. If you remember the Thanos cover, that was very similar. Looks like Hildebrandt had a favorite angle for his covers. But this one also sounds really fun because Ben and Johnny have to get jobs to help bring in extra money for the Fantastic Four. And on the A cover, it looks like they're working at like a supermarket or something.
Yeah, well, Johnny was working at like a big box store, I think in the first issue, which was really funny, and he didn't last more than a day, I think, or a couple days or something.
That's what I love about this Fantastic Four series is they do kind of some classic feeling stories of just like what's the goofy thing they get into this week. But you don't want to miss out on this Thing cover.
That is. That in more ways than one. Next, we have Doctor Strange number 15. This is a Blood Hunt tie-in as well, part of the ongoing Doctor Strange run right now, but it is a Blood Hunt tie-in. And it says this picks up immediately after the events of Blood Hunt number 1, the main line Blood Hunt number 1. This is going to take place right after it, where Doctor Strange and Clea fight vampires. That's pretty much what it says. So we'll have to see what kind of shenanigans they get up to. But this cover by In-Hyuk Lee is really... That doesn't look like In-Hyuk... Wait, I missed... That's the wrong one. That's Lee Garbett.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that looks... And that's... I love Lee Garbett's artwork.
Now this this is the In-Hyuk Lee variant for X-Men Forever number 3. Of course, this is still bridging the gap between Immortal X-Men and the... Fall of X stuff, but we are getting closer, even in this, to the fall of Krakoa. I want to show you this really cool. I like this Black Phoenix costume. I think it really works.
Yeah.
So great cover by In-Hyuk Lee.
This is Wolverine number 49. So this is the next to last issue in the Sabretooth War. And I think the next to last issue in the Wolverine series,
is it
right?
50?
I think so.
Yeah.
I know the Sabretooth War ends with number 50. I thought that the series ended with 50.
Wolverine ends at 50 as well.
Yeah, this is the first appearance of the adamantium armor, which you can see there on the cover. This Forge makes this for Wolverine after he loses his powers. He just, he's got to go up against Sabretooth, and how do you do that without your healing factor? You put on adamantium armor. How heavy is that?
Very.
Yeah, but good thing he's strong.
Especially if you don't have your healing factor, so your muscles aren't like constantly regrowing.
Yeah.
Oof.
So that's our A cover right there, and then we have the David Nakayama black costume cover, which make this the new look for Wolverine. Yeah, that's super cool.
It's really cool. I like the hints of yellow, everything. And the black claws.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Next up, we've got Star Wars Darth Vader number 46. So I'm excited about this. Of course, this cover has nothing to do with the interior of this one. This is the Phantom Menace 25th anniversary variant for that. But in this Darth Vader issue, this is part 1 of the raising of Exegol. So Vader is taking the fight all the way to Palpatine's secret treasury, where we saw in Rise of Skywalker, where he was keeping his clones and all of that. So Vader's going to make a big stand against that. Sounds really cool. I'm excited for this part 1. This is, like I said, our Phantom Menace 25th anniversary cover. We've got a Phil Noto Master and Apprentice variant with the kind of short-term Master and Apprentice thing they had going on with Palpatine and Dooku. And we have a Darth Vader Tom Riley variant. This one's really cool. It's really clean. Yeah. I like that a lot. We also have some for Star Wars The High Republic, number 7. So this is our Master and Apprentice variant with Anakin and Ahsoka. And there is a Phantom Menace 25th anniversary, which could also be a Master and Apprentice variant with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, number 6. This is the last issue of this miniseries, and it has been phenomenal. And what I like to do with these is just read you the solicitation straight, because they do such a good job of making rhymes out of it. So this is, at the end of this issue, someone will die. There's no way to avoid it, so we simply won't try. A horrific plan drives the fate of our bear, An unspeakable actions will give quite a scare. Join us now as we finally lift the veil, as this, my friends, is the end of our tale. So yes, this is
Final
the
issue.
final issue. Yeah, this has been a phenomenal series. I can't wait to get this in trade. It's going to
Yeah.
read so good in trade. Cutesy animals, lots of blood and murder. It's a perfect combination. And this is the Horvath cover, the cover A.
Did you notice that that's face is like a skinned mask? You
Well,
can see the mouth inside of it.
I just kind of thought it was like an overlay. Like they're showing us like different personalities.
Mhm.
Well, it's like a pig face. Yeah, it's like a boar.
It's a very interesting cover.
Yeah.
Next up, we got graphic novels and more, like reprints. We got quite a few reprints on this one that you might not want to miss out on. We're starting with Cobra Commander #1, third printing. So,
I
I
love
mean,
that cover.
such a great cover. I love that they actually give you reasons to want, even if you have the
Yeah.
first printing. You see these, you're like, I gotta have it. So this is Cobra Commander #1, third printing, and we also have Duke #3, second printing. And I love the thought that has gone into these reprints, where it's like, okay, now let's have like an entire look for these
Yeah.
printings.
I wish that I had been collecting all these for Duke and Cobra Commander and Transformers,
Yeah.
these white backgrounds with just the characters on them. I'm so upset that I haven't been. Like, that would be a great art book.
Yeah.
Is these covers in an art book? Holy cow. So next is the sixth printing of Transformers #1. We're going to be talking about #7 next week when it comes out, but we're still reprinting #1 because it is just that good. If you've missed it, hopefully you haven't missed it by now. But if you have, here's another chance to get it. It's we give it our highest recommendation. 6 printings. Bring on the 7th, bring on an 8th, but hopefully nobody's like passing this up by now because it's so good.
Yeah. And we've got more Void Rivals. I'm amazed. Void Rivals, I mean, it's fantastic. I love it. But the amount of printings that this has got too. This is Void Rivals #1, 8th printing.
8th printing.
That's awesome for an indie book. I mean, of course, it's Kirkman.
Yeah.
It's part of the Energon universe, but still, 8th printing for #1. We've got a 5th printing for #3. We've got a 4th printing for #4 and a 4th printing for #5. Once again, great covers. Like, these could have easily have been the A covers of the
for sure.
series. So I love that they're not just doing a recolor
Yeah.
or changing the text or something.
Next is New Mutants '98 Facsimile Edition. First appearance of Deadpool. If you guys have heard of him, they should put him in a movie.
Yeah,
That would be
or
really
2
cool.
or 3.
Yeah, 3 movies. Let's give him 3 movies. But yeah, just if you haven't read the first appearance, or if you want a Facsimile Edition complete with all the ads and everything, then pick this up. There's going to be a foil.
There's a foil and
a
blank
blank,
sketch
yeah.
variant as well.
Yeah.
The foil of that's going to be really cool.
Oh, for sure.
And then we've got Ultimate Spider-Man #3, second printing. This is the Cheto cover for that. And another book we hope everyone's reading, but if you're not, I'm glad that's still available, that you can keep ordering it.
It is unbelievably good.
And #3 was a really good issue.
Well, I think that's a page out of #3.
That's
the page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kind of costume reveal page.
Next is X-Men '97 #1, second printing. So this is the prequel book to the brand new animated series, which is just phenomenal. This book just kind of tells us how the characters get where they are right now, like what they're dealing with and stuff like that. #2, is that next week?
Yeah, I got a #2 right here.
Yeah, very cool. So we'll be talking about #2 on Monday, and if you missed #1, now is another chance to get it.
Yeah. And this I love. This is like one of my own personal super recommendations. This is At the Mountains of Madness Deluxe Edition. So this is the manga that was 2 parts. It was a volume 1 and volume 2 by Go Tanab. And I can't recommend this enough. All of the Lovecraft adaptations that Dark Horse has been doing, the manga style adaptations, have been phenomenal. This one being like Lovecraft's like giant opus, the one that was actually printed as a book. I can't recommend highly enough. The art is beautiful. It captures all the weird, even in black and white. It's got amazing landscapes of the Arctic and everything. Definitely don't miss out on this. So I believe the single volume by themselves are close to like $30, but you get volume 1 and 2 together for $49.99. Also, it's this book was nominated for a Harvey and an Eisner, and it's got foil binding, a satin ribbon bookmark, wraparound cover with spot gloss, and 8 full color pages. This is a primo book for that. So if you like Lovecraft, if you've never read At the Mountains of Madness, which it can be pretty daunting, just he has quite the flowery language that sometimes is impenetrable. This is a great way to check it out, and I love it. I've got the 2 volumes, and I'm gonna get this one.
Yeah.
So definitely don't miss out on that one.
And then last is the Captain America Modern Era Epic Collection. This is Volume 1, Winter Soldier. This is going to be $44.99, and this collects the first 17 issues of Ed Brubaker's run on Captain America, which started in 2004.
My personal favorite run of
my favorite Captain America series ever, or story. This is the storyline that gives us Bucky Barnes as the Winter Soldier. So if you saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which is my favorite MCU movie, I think it's my favorite movie. I just love that movie. A lot of that is heavily adapted from this, where Bucky comes back. You know, he's a Russian operative, and Captain America has to sort of learn who he is and go up against him, and it eventually leads into Bucky becoming Captain America later, but that's much later. But this is where it all starts. So if you want to read that run of Captain America, and I highly recommend you do because it's so good. Steve Epting on art, which looks great. It all starts right here.
It's very espionage.
Yeah.
It's very like heavy shadows. It's super cool. It's a tone that has really dictated a lot of Captain America stories after this.
You've got some Red Skull in this, which is super cool. And I mean, it definitely goes way beyond these 17 issues, but this is the beginning of it, and it's a great.
If I was going to recommend any Captain America to somebody,
I always go this.
This book, we need multiple copies because this is the one I put in their hands out of any Captain America, out of almost any, like, if you're like, what's the best Marvel runs of anything? This is really, really high up there.
Yeah, for sure. So don't miss it on pre-order this weekend.
And it's $44.99, which is really good.
Yep.
And that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to head over to infinityflux.net right now, where you can place your orders for these books, plus a bunch more, plus more variants, more everything. So head over there and check it out. Everything you pre-order, you get 10% off of, which is a fantastic deal. Whether you're a local or you get it shipped to you, it is done with the utmost care and love. Every one of the packages is sealed with a kiss.
That's
that
right.
is our guarantee.
Hugs, you know.
Yeah, it really would pass around to everybody. Everyone gives a little smooch. Really great. But if you watch it to the end, what is a thing they can leave? Do we have a... There is a Dracula emoji, I know, on phones. There is...
Yeah, I mean, give us a ghost.
Put a little goofy ghost for Space Ghost. That is perfect.
Yep.
So, again, thank you so much for watching. Remember to watch the show coming out on Monday, where we'll be going over some of the biggest books coming out next week, so you know a little bit better, heading into your store, what you can be in store for.
And we're super close to 3,000 subscribers. Did you mention that?
I did mention that.
So, be sure to subscribe and help us get there.
Yes, we much appreciate it. And until next time, see ya.
See ya.